I'm Linda Cuisine, and I'm 62 years young.
Hi, I'm Jill Kirkwood. I'm 58 years young, almost 59 years young, Linda.
And we are
the Sixties Chicks.
Thanks so much for tuning in today.
Welcome. What are we doing today?
We are talking, Jill, about incontinence. Oh my And right now...
And we're not making fun of it.
No, we're not.
We're trying to make it light because it is something that happens.
Oh, we just laughed at everything.
Yes, we do.
But we do want to discuss today almost maybe more the kind of the aesthetic and end of things. At another episode, Jill will really give a deep dive into more of the exercises and that you can do.
Foods that trip it up, foods that help it, medicines, maybe some supplements. I go there trepidatiously though. Supplements.
Okay.
So,
today it's a show and tell. It's another show and tell
with a little bit of information.
Yes.
Okay.
So I am actually currently wearing feminine protection. I think it says culottes on the bag.
Okay.
So, and just a little bit of a backstory. About 10 years ago, I had a YouTube channel. It was geared towards women going through menopause. And I came up with the idea that in order to prove that we can indeed still look sexy while wearing a feminine, wetness protection product, I bedazzled Jill some Depends.
So sexy.
Linda. And I was in I was in a push-up bra and bedazzled Depends. And I did not know, Jill, that there is like a whole weird kind of a cult following of men that love women in diapers.
Oh, yeah. I heard these guys have this fetish.
Yes, it was
so creepy.
I had so many hits on that episode.
For being in diapers.
For being men asking me to send them to them. It was just a weird thing. So anyway, the point is I am wearing them now, but I've got pants on. So it's just so that you can see how the profile looks underneath them. I also tried on a tight dress with them. I think the only maybe downside, Jill, you said I was crunching as I walked by you.
A little crunchy noise going on.
So
do you want to show that?
I will. We will start with the show and tell part of this episode.
And tell them what kind of, you're wearing like a jegging?
Yes. So I'm wearing jeggings and I'm modeling them always. So I will show you what they look like. Jill, I'm
touching her butt to feel.
Okay, so do I feel bulky?
No bulky, no lines.
Okay.
Crunchy. I heard you crunch again when you stepped up.
A little bit of a crunch. Now, we didn't like what's happening here because it has this weird external seam.
Yeah, we'll show that
Yeah,
too.
we'll show that. Yeah. So not a big fan here.
Because it interferes with the seam on the lateral part of your
jeggings. And then on the front, okay, right? Not horrible. So
looks good.
Anyway, that's what they look like.
Surprisingly. I really am surprised because you are wearing skin-tight jeggings.
Yes.
And there's really, you can't tell. But you're crunching. I'm just Oh, that's bad. She's not crunching that bad.
It's the bag, but there's a little bit of crunch to it as you're walking.
Wait, pull one out real quick and show them how we don't understand this design, like why they did this.
Oh, we're not sure why the seam would be on the external part. Why wouldn't they have the seam on the internal part? Anyway, that would be kind of the only critique, other than they don't really absorb. Jill, talk about how much liquid a bladder holds.
So a typical bladder, human bladder, can hold about this much, which is 16 ounces. And we did pre-filming an experiment. And so Linda, she held it over the sink and poured this in. And it seemed to be absorbing it, but then what happened as you tilted it? You can see it's dripping.
It's all dripping out, and there's a bunch of water in this bowl, and
when she tipped it side, it poured.
Yeah, there's a lot of water in the bowl, and it's very heavy, so
this is a fail.
Yeah,
kind of.
But Jill, weren't you saying that?
You're not going to pee out 16 ounces all the time.
Would we void that amount of liquid?
I was wondering, and it would be curious. You don't always pee 16 ounces. So if you were wearing those and you peed a little bit, and then there was time in between, and a couple hours later you peed more, I don't know if it absorbs and then starts to dry. I don't know.
Well, probably
and
like
neither of us have this issue yet, right? So I'm not here.
No, but
That's not
we
urine.
are.
Don't drink the urine.
It's water. But let me explain why we're even going there, because I recently, well, it was actually last summer, so not so recent. Newly or not quite divorced, but separated and started dating a new person. And he had invited me to go to Alaska with him. Well, this person has a small plane, a small jet. It seats 6, but it does not have a bathroom.
It's a wannabe jet without a bathroom.
Yeah, well, it was lovely. It was a beautiful airplane.
Yes,
it was a multi-million-dollar airplane.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, but it didn't have a bathroom. And I suffer from, Jill, I had shared something called interstitial cystitis, which is chronic UTIs over the past 30 years. So my bladder is already compromised. And I was so stressed thinking, holy smokes, we are going to be flying over the Alaskan tundra.
Concern.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to land
There's
this
no bathroom.
plane for me to go pee. And he had some kind of...
And you can't pee out the window on that one.
You can't pee out the window. And he had some kind of guy thing, but it kind of looked like this. And come on,
It's like a water bottle can be a urinal for them as well.
And, we'd only been dating a few weeks. And the whole thing about even trying to figure out what I was going to do, I was so stressed. But
what did you do?
I went out and my kid said, well, Mom, their kids are in diapers. What about adult diapers? And I thought, oh my God, can you imagine? I'm like on a new date practically and I'm wearing adult diapers. But I went and bought them thinking, okay, I have to do a wet run.
A wet one?
The wet run, not a dry
10 times fast.
Not a dry run. I had to see if it was going to work.
And how did it go?
It did not. I drank a lot of water and slapped these puppies on.
Did it do that?
It kind of did this.
Miserable. So, that's not sexy.
No. Oh my. Yeah. You think there would have been date number 2? Oh hell no.
There are some that have a fetish for urine.
Yeah, you're
too.
right. Yeah, we already talked about that.
You don't want to talk about that one.
So I just had to ditch that idea. Instead, what I did was had my doctor give me a prescription, and I took a great product that I like. It's called Cystex. It's an analgesic, and I just had to dehydrate the shit out of myself.
And none of that's a good combination.
No, it's not. But I was the whole wetness protection thing. For that amount of urine was just not going to work. So, like Jill said,
for a date.
Yeah.
You're a very nice woman.
Yeah, gosh, I was so stressed. So sadly, the relationship did not work out, and just my bladder issues were the least of the problem. But so anyway,
but
Jill,
nice
I am wearing them now. And then
there's one more product.
There's another product. So I went to the store yesterday, Jill, and I started perusing the wetness protection aisle, and I found something else. This is called the Honey Pot, and I think it looks like herbal tea. It says organic incontinence liners.
Oh, and it's infused.
It is infused with mint, lavender,
and aloe.
Yes, so I didn't know if this is something you wear or you steep in water and drink. But
I'm not drinking any tea you offer me ever.
Nor should you. So these are.
Those look like
and
what?
They smell just like panty liners. Remember?
No, when we first got our periods as young girls, the things with wings.
Yeah, they do have this. One does have wings.
Did you smell it, or what'd you say?
It smells delicious.
I wouldn't use the word delicious. It smells.
She would, and I would.
I can smell a little bit of lavender. It smells a little menthol-y to me.
I know, and I was just wondering for someone like myself that I can't do anything that has citrus. I can't drink like mimosas or even drinking wine.
Back to you.
Thanks.
Well, and my concern too, as women, we know not to use a lot of scented products down there. Remember, they used to have scented tampons, and those were like nasty. So. But this story with this woman, I believe her story was she suffered from a bacterial kind of infection for years. Then she had a dream and one of her ancestors came to her and gave her this healing method. So, you gotta just make sure you're not allergic. Some people are allergic to lavender. So you gotta know these things, right?
And isn't lavender good for like your eyes when you sleep at night?
It's good for so many things.
so maybe if this doesn't work for incontinence, we could do it as like a little eye mask.
That's a great idea. You wear that on a plane. I'll take pictures.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
But we're gonna do, in other videos, we're gonna get to more of foods that trigger it, right? And foods that can help, and maybe some supplements. And then there's medicine they offer. And there are exercises, those are Benoit balls. And there are also procedures that they can do. But we're gonna get to that later. But I do want to just take a moment, and we'll actually film Linda and I doing exercises that strengthen your pelvic floor. But I want to talk about the pelvic floor.
I'll be watching. She'll be doing the
You're
exercises.
going to be doing them with me.
Okay.
So the pelvic floor, think of it running from, if you had a hammock, and it runs from your pelvic bone to your tailbone, and it includes, in grown-up terms, not number 1, number 2, the vagina and the anus. So as we get older, Linda, so 25 to 45% of people, of women, are there. We have this issue, incontinence, right? And as you get older, it becomes more of a problem for some women, especially after menopause and after childbirth. It can be an issue. But those muscles can become slack and they can become weak. So we want to do these pelvic floor, the Kegels. And what you would do, Linda, is you would think of lengthening your spine. And if you're brave enough, you can cup your hand and put it under there. And so you can do it. It's actually easier lying to do that. But you relax and you can feel your pelvic floor muscles, the vagina and the anus and that whole tissue in there kind of settle. Then you take a breath in.
Should we do it?
Yes, let's do it. Okay. So lengthen your spine.
Okay.
Inhale, and then as you exhale, I want you to pull the walls of the vagina and the labia together and in and up, and the anus closes and goes in and up as well. Hold it for a moment, and then exhale and let it settle. Now, if you're doing these and you're bouncing around like this, you're engaging your glutes and part of your, you don't want to do that. That's a good exercise to do. You can do it on a plane next to someone and freak them out, right? What's she doing? Butt exercises. So, but let's do that again, Linda. So lengthen the spine.
Okay.
Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, start to contract the vaginal walls together in and up. The anus closes and goes in and up, kind of like you're pulling a string in and up. And then exhale. And so some people are not very familiar with the workings down there, right? And we want to take time, do a few, see how you feel, then maybe increase to 5, increase to 10, do it a couple times a day. And the other thing I really want to discuss, because I think just right now, is constipation. I see that's a huge issue for a lot of women, especially of a certain age. Certainly correlates. So the bladder is like just this empty bowl of an organ, and then it fills with urine. But if you're constipated, the bowel will actually push against it, and it actually will decrease the amount that can expand.
Oh my gosh.
So now you're limited to the capacity of urine it can hold, and you're urinating more frequently. So we really need to have another show about poop.
Okay, well, we have discussed just about everything else under the sun.
Eat more fiber.
Poop should be on the menu.
I knew someone who hated when I said the word poop. Don't say poop. Poop. But we don't want to be constipated. We want good gut health. And so we also want to just say thank you for being here with us and enjoying the laughter. But we also want to do part 2 and maybe part 3 of this topic.
Yeah, well, it sounds like number 2 is definitely going to be on the list of what's coming up. Thank you so much for following, and for all of you who have commented and subscribed and have liked us.
Yes.
Please continue to share your time with us. We are so grateful for all of it. And
thank you.
And thank you. And happy birthday to my bestie here, almost.
She's pushing me towards 60.
She's going to be 59 and holding, but she'll be a real 60s chicks here soon enough. So thank you again. Remember our motto
is
whine a little and laugh a lot.
But don't pee.
Okay.